Prime Minister is continuing with his meetings. Right behind us in this hotel where we are standing is where the Prime Minister is, and he's met three sets of people in groups. These groups are think tank experts, academicians and healthcare experts. The number of meetings today was 24 people, out of which roughly about more than half he's met them in groups, and some people he's met one-on-one. One of them including Elon Musk of Tesla, the founder of Tesla and now the owner of Twitter. So apart from the fact that he's spoken about how he has been invited to invest in India, and that he sees a lot of potential in India. As far as solar energy is concerned, he has spoken about how it can be utilized in India naturally because of the kind of sunlight India gets. India is of course also part of the International Solar Alliance, one of the leading partners of Solar Alliance. He's spoken about that, how electric vehicles are the future and India can actually lead that as well. Apart from that, when Elon Musk was asked about when he's going to visit India, he said he's going to visit India next year. And as far as Tesla is concerned, he didn't give a very specific answer, but he said whenever it's humanly possible. Now, that really is leaving it pretty open-ended, Vedant, over there, not giving a very clear-cut answer. However, that meeting was a one-on-one meeting. The Prime Minister has held a couple or about 4 to 5 meetings till now in person. The penultimate meeting was on just a short while back, so we are expecting all the meetings to wind up soon. The timings that we were told for all the meetings were between 4 to 8:30. It's already above 8:30, so we are expecting those meetings to end. But certainly important meetings there, and if I can quickly take you through some of the groups that the Prime Minister has met and some of the significant people in those groups as well. For instance, the group of academicians that the Prime Minister has met included Dr. Robert J. Jones, who's a crop scientist, Dr. Neeli Bendapalli, president of the Pennsylvania State University, Dr. Pradeep Khosla, the Chancellor of University of California. This also included Professor Ratan Lal, distinguished University Professor of Soil Science, Ohio State University. Apart from that, among the think tank experts, he met Dr. Michael Froman, President Designate and Distinguished Fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations. He met Daniel Russell, Vice President for International Security and Diplomacy, and also Jeff Smith, Director, Asian Studies Center, the Heritage Foundation, which is based in Washington, D.C. He's also met health experts, as I was pointing out, Dr. Peter Hotez, the founding Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine, Sunil A. David, CEO of Virovax, based in Texas again. Some of these important people, experts in the healthcare sector, also included Dr. Vivian S. Lee, who teaches at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital. So as you can clearly gauge through this, Vedant, that the Prime Minister has met several people in groups and several people, CEOs, independently on a one-on-one basis as well. After these meetings are over, the Prime Minister will wind up for the day because he landed, and after just a short break, he started off his meetings today here in New York. Tomorrow, he starts his day with leading the International Day of Yoga, Vedant, where he'll be performing yoga at the UN headquarters, Northern Lawns. We understand that in that space, about 1,000 people are likely to participate. We are also expecting some big celebrities to join the Prime Minister there at the yoga event, apart from the UNGA President as well. The UNSG Secretary General is not in town, though he has put out a video message already for the International Yoga Day.
Right, Maha, and also, it's interesting, as you've been reporting as well, that in New York, the focus really is on soft diplomacy, with the Prime Minister leading the Yoga Day celebrations and, of course, the Indian diaspora events. But the real sort of diplomatic deals, the bilaterals, will be held in Washington, D.C., which is, in a sense, the second leg of his visit.
Yes, absolutely, and that is the state visit. So that is of primary importance here, and all the hard diplomacy, the negotiations, the deals will all be announced in Washington DC on the 22nd of June. So this is how the day on 22nd June will look like for the Prime Minister. He starts his day by going to the White House, and then of course he will be welcomed by the President there. This is a state visit. He will also be getting a guard of honor prior to that, after which they will be going inside the Oval Office of President Biden for a bilateral meeting. It is during this meeting we are expecting some of the crucial announcements to be finally sealed by the two leaders and then announced. For instance, we are looking forward, both sides are looking forward to the joint production of GE jet engines for HAL India. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is hoping to use these jet engines which will be jointly produced in their latest version of the LCA, the Light Combat Aircraft. Now, this is certainly significant because this is not just a buyer-seller relationship we are talking about between India and the US in the defense sector. If this actually comes through, this could build the ground for technology transfer. We are still not completely sure on that count, because remember, any sort of critical technology, defense related military technology that the US transfers has to go via the US Congress. That's procedural, and the US government has to do that. So clearly those procedures or steps need to be done before this announcement is made. Moreover, as far as a typical buyer-seller relationship is concerned, under that India will be buying drones from America, and this also is significant because India is increasing its equipment basket as we have seen for the last many years, though the stress has been on Make in India, and that is why technology transfer, joint production, co-production is important. But India has also diversified its basket, not relying entirely or completely any longer on Russian defense equipment, but looking out as well. So we have seen the Rafales coming from France. India has increased its engagement as far as the defense sector and procurement is concerned from Israel, and the US is also certainly in this case not getting left behind. The US, in fact, has been stressing for a long time, and this is way before the Ukraine war, that India needs to buy more defense equipment from the United States. And when India used to talk about issues like interoperability of equipment, because many of India's equipments that were bought from the US would not work in sync with equipment brought elsewhere or systems bought from other countries. So there has been a stress from America for a long time that tilt towards Russia should stop. Under the current circumstances, we are seeing India expanding that basket, though India has very clearly mentioned that India has long-standing ties with Russia, and Russia has in fact stood with India in some very difficult times as well, sending equipment to India when it really required them. At the moment, though, because of the Ukraine war, something like S-400, which India has had a deal with Russia for, that is also getting delayed. So looking at all these aspects, the defense engagement also is something that will keenly be watched out for. Vedant.